Right, no worries.
All right, guys. Hey, my name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sihan. Very, very excited. Like this is my birthday treat. My new favorite person that I'm studying with and learning from Doc David Oates. I keep saying Dr. David Oates because you're such a teacher and doctor means teacher. And I don't know, I keep saying that. But anyway, I found David years ago and recently, maybe in the last month, revisited and found that he's still doing things and has expanded way beyond when I found him a decade ago. And so this is my treat, my blessing. Craig got to join us too. So I'm very, very, very excited to do this on, it'll be aired on my birthday. So I'm super, super happy. But a few announcements before we get going. First, I just want to remind everybody you can get on the newsletter and find out all of the podcasts that we've done, different resources. I have classes, books, I do consultations with health, spiritual things, soul audits, I do biofeedback. I have several books and different opportunities for you guys to learn, grow, expand, and find out new things, expand on your life and in your journey. And I hope that you guys will go check that out. But get on the newsletter, find out what we're doing. And we are here every Thursday at noon. And so you can get and catch up with all the past episodes, forward episodes. Definitely subscribe. And that is about all I got to say as far as announcements, unless you have anything, Craig. Welcome back to the show, my co-host Craig Walker, all the way from the other side of the world.
That's it. We're in three very different time zones here. So UK, obviously Central, and Australia. Which time zone are you in, David?
It's actually 10 to 5 here. I'm in Central Time, Australian Central Time.
Australian Central Time, right? So we're all different sides of the world here. So isn't technology wonderful that we can do this? I'm a confessed noob to this information. Sharnael's been going on to me for like, you've got to hear this guy. So I'm really excited to get into this, and what she's told me is just mind blowing stuff. So I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Awesome. And I am going to do a little plug here for David too. I cannot say that I have read all of these books. He has way more than this. What do you have, 9 books, David?
18.
What? Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I have a little catching up to do. I've read 2 of these. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I have a trip next week and I usually do like several books a month. And so I'm hoping to devour these. And I have learned, oh gosh, I'm going to get emotional, but I have learned so much from you over the years. And it started because I was having dreams about Donald Trump
Uh-huh.
way before he had talked about running for office. I kept having dreams that he would be president. I had visitations and different things, whatever you want to call them, saying to
Uh-huh.
pray for him and to support him and I made those announcements from pulpits, from
Uh-huh.
conferences, and my idea at the time is, Trump was just the guy who said, you're fired. I
Right.
didn't have,
Right.
I didn't know. I even had his slogan given to me, make America great again, and
Yeah.
presented that. And then lo and behold, he comes out and says that. And so I had found you because in my discussions with that publicly, I choose to remember who sent me one of your links, but you had actually done some backward speech with him, and that led me to some other things that you were doing. And I mean, you have a whole library, I mean, 40 years of
Uh,
information, from different interviews, music, what have you. But then I just kind of lost touch and forgot about it, and I didn't know what you were doing and wasn't really keeping up. And then again, it came back again. I saw one of my friends had posted in my group a meditation that you're doing, the meta walk for the
oh
world.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, huh, this guy's still doing his thing. Let me go check out what he's doing now. And I mean, my God, you have done, now you're doing like meta walk therapy kind of thing with people one on one,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
signed up for immediately and have been working with you now weekly, what, 4 weeks or
We're
ish?
on to our fifth week, I think. Under our fifth week. Yeah.
Yes. And if
Mhm.
I could mentor, if I could be a full-time mentor, oh my God, like this is the next closest thing I could do it. And we're going to have you back pretty regular, which I'm just, thrilled, thrilled. But why don't we start with just you explaining to everybody kind of how you got here in this space and how you landed, and then we'll just go from there.
Oh boy, you want 40 years in a minute?
Right.
Okay. Well, look, okay, the whole journey for me started back in 1984, 83, 84. I was running a halfway house for street kids, and I was told that one of the kids was playing rock and roll records backwards, and they were hearing all these satanic messages. And so I went home and got out a Walkman that played backwards. That's another story in and of itself. And started running these recordings in reverse. And much to my surprise, I started hearing clear messages backwards. Now I'm an audio buff. I've been a ham radio operator all my life, and I'm pretty good ear for audio and electronics. And it was clear to me these phrases weren't placed on the record intentionally. They were occurring purely by the way the musicians were singing the words. So anyway, so cut a long story short, I started researching reverse speech. In 87, I found numerous backward messages in normal everyday conversation. We'll play you some of those as we go on. I developed my theory in 87. My theory basically states that language is bi-level, forwards as well as backwards. As the brain is constructing the sounds of speech, it's putting those sounds together. So we're saying two things at once, one forwards from the conscious and the other in reverse from the unconscious. So I spent the last 40 years of my life catalyzing this phenomenon. I've built a very successful therapeutic practice where I work with this and working with clients. Reverse speech is magnificent in tapping into the source and cause of any person's problems and issues. And I don't know, where do I go? So I've developed a whole therapeutic technique around it. I do regular shows where I do looking at reversals on politicians, and so I don't know, what do you want me to say? So that's how I got started. So
Well, one thing I want to jump in, and Craig, feel free after this, but so my book, The Science of Miracles,
uh-huh.
I have a chart in here that talks about how we can break patterns, and it goes into the quantum physics of an offering wave versus an echo wave, and how to cancel clear that in the DNA so we can not be out of congruency. Because you could, as you know, you could think something in your head, but if your heart is saying the opposite, then you're not going to get the feedback back as much. We radiate, we have a biofield, everything goes out, but it also magnetizes. So you can be in kind of like an energetic purgatory if you maybe think something, but your heart feels differently, or you feel something, but your brain is going, oh no, that's not gonna work, or remember that didn't work with dad, or whatever. But you brought me to this whole new level of incongruence in speech, where you say one thing with your words that you choose and your free will to choose, but the undercurrent, subconscious of what comes backwards is the actual truth, and it can be contradictory to what you say forward, revealing things to us, and revealing people's intentions that may be looking like they're good, but they're actually not so great, and they're trying to like trick or on purpose, and which, I mean, I don't want to say everybody's doing it on purpose. There might be people who just have a weird belief system and that's what they really believe, but subconsciously they don't. But speak a little bit about the whole echo thing, because I literally have a painting of a wolf. I have wolves all in my bedroom, and I know that's a big thing for you, but one of the paintings is called Winter Echo, and it's a wolf howling into the night with like a little bit of winter air coming out, and it just again kind of piggybacks on your congruency thing. So speak about that a little bit.
Oh boy, where do I start? Okay, several things. First of all, you talk. Let me just clarify. You talked about the heart. Reverse speech is the voice of the heart speaking. I used to say it was the unconscious mind for many years. That's because I was really trying to divorce myself from anything spiritual, but it literally is the meditations and thoughts and feelings of our heart speaking. And now you talk about wolves. Reverse speech is very much a metaphorical language. It speaks in metaphor and archetype. It'll use phrases like wolf, my wolf was fallen in the lake, or goddess, my goddess has a sword. And when I first started doing reversals and finding all these metaphors, they were a big mystery to me. I had no idea what they meant. But over the years, and I've developed what I call a reverse speech metaphor dictionary, which lists all the common meanings of these metaphors. I've developed a theory that at the base level of consciousness, the human mind thinks in pictures or metaphors, and that's how we organize our behavior through a metaphorical construct. So when I'm working with clients, let's say, for example, you got a problem with depression. Okay, we might get a reversal that comes out that says, "My wolf is sick." So what I will do is I will then, it's a little bit more complicated than this, but this is the simple version. I'll place you in a light hypnotic trance. I will have you see your sick wolf as a picture. One of the first things I noticed when I started doing this, well, many years ago now, was that people saw the pictures in their metaphors very clearly. There was no problems in people seeing them. Sometimes they would see the images before I suggested them, which was just as amazing. So if the wolf is sick, I will have you see the sick wolf, and we'll heal the wolf. We'll maybe take it for a drink, make it go hunting, and as we change the pictures in the unconscious mind through my technique I call a meta walk, we are changing behavior and personality as well. We're tapping. It's probably the most direct way to work with human behavior. It goes right down to the core structure, which is metaphor and archetype. Wolf is a common metaphor. I got a wolf tattooed on my back. I got wolves all around my house, so I'm really into metaphors. And yeah, reverse speech is a pictorial language. It speaks in metaphor. Human behavior and personality is formed by a metaphorical matrix, and reverse speech will tell me what those metaphors are. Why don't seeing we got onto metaphors, why don't I play you something so we're not just talking in theory here, we're talking in practice. Let me get up a standard metaphor. I'm just moving into my files here, and we'll bring up one of the wolf. So let me just scroll down here. Where are we? Metaphors. I've got millions of reversals on my computer, by the way. Been doing this for so long. Metaphor. Where are we? Metaphor.
While you're looking for that, in my session I had something about the wolf had lost its howl.
Yep.
And
Right.
what's interesting is just in the last, I don't know, several months that I've been dealing with some things. I have collected all of these wolf pictures and made my own literal vision board in my bedroom of wolves howling, wolves resting, wolves with their children having fun. I have 3
Yeah.
kids, so I have one with a wolf with 3 kids. I have my tattoo with the wolf thing. And
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
what my theory is somehow on the subconscious, I knew I was trying to create my own solution,
Metawalk.
my
Yep.
own meta walk, my own
Yep.
solution with a vision
Yep.
board to try to
Yep.
get me out of whatever I
Yep.
had got myself into. And you,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well, that's how behavior and personality works. It's through metaphors, and all our actions are by metaphorical construct. So the fact that you started to get obsessed with wool, well, your name is Wolverton for a start, but you're just tapping into the unconscious. Here's me talking to a client. Listen to this. I'll play this forwards first.
You strike me as a very enthusiastic guy. I mean, certainly the time we've been together, and you've got all full of ideas. Is this latest? Is this just a latest idea? Is it just all froth and barbel, or do you really want to get out?
And we run it in reverse, and he says backwards, "See the wolf fallen in the lake."
See, the whole fall over nothing. See, the whole fall over nothing.
I'm sure you'd agree that's quite clear. And let me just show you how that comes out. I'm going to run the whole lot backwards. You hear a little bit of gibberish, and then you hear this really clear phrase amongst the gibberish. So here we go. You hear that just jumps out of the gibberish there? So I'll do it again. Here it is. Here's the gibberish. Now that tape hasn't been altered or doctored. That's just straight reverse, and that's how reversals occur. But once every 15 seconds of speech, a little depends on the conversation. You'll be listening to the gibberish, and there'll be a slight pause. Then this very clear phrase appears amongst the gibberish, like I just played you, and then it goes back to gibberish again. So I'm amazed. Look, I've been doing this for 40 years now. I'm amazed no one has discovered this before. Quite frankly, it's they're everywhere. All everyone has to do is put a tape recorder on and run it backwards, and you're going to hear them. They're all over the place. And I keep on saying to myself, "Why did I discover this? Someone else should have discovered this ages ago." It's prolific throughout speech. Any speech will contain backward messages, and they will be the unconscious or the spirit or the heart. They will reveal who you really are on all levels, what your thoughts processes are, whether you're congruent or incongruent. That's one thing you talked about earlier. Where do I go from here? Ask me a question.
Craig, I'd love to jump in. I know you're like biting at the bit here.
I'm really, really fascinated. It's like we've just had a couple of shows where we were really talking about metaphor and sort of consciousness and how there is a higher consciousness in metaphor and symbolism.
Yes.
And a lot of people are waking up to this now. And I mean, I've never heard this idea before.
No.
I mean, so like, could you just take like a snippet of say 30 seconds and there will be something in that? Or do you have to run it for a while?
I go for more than 30 seconds. I get a clip of 5 minutes, but see, it depends on the conversation. If it's a casual, relaxed conversation with friends, you'll get them once every 5 or 10 seconds. They'll be everywhere. Right. It's very much a right brain function. The more right brain you are in your speech, the more reversals you'll occur. But you take the opposite end of a spectrum, a politician giving a speech. The reversals will be a lot less, once every 2 or 3 minutes, because he's very much into his left brain. He's reading text, and you don't get the natural flow. So, So, what was your question?
That answered it really. Just sort of like
any speech. Any speech you run about. It's a natural function of language. We're all doing it. It's like sight, touch, hearing. Is the unconscious mind speaks in reverse. So,
is it unique to the individual? Like, okay, personally, I obviously I love all animals. I don't have much of an affiliation with wolves personally. What if the wolf cropped up in my reverse speech, for example? Is that possible, or is it something I would be affiliated to?
Oh no, that is possible. Yeah. Look, wolf is a very common metaphor. Wolf and soul are the two most common metaphors in reverse speech. Soul. Reverse speech talks a lot about the soul
and the whirlwind. That is a top, which is again the whole biofield. I mean, you talk about the whirlwind and the mess in the whirlwind and what have you.
Yeah, here, let me play you a reversal about the soul. Actually, I can play you a whole bunch of stuff. Here's the therapist, the reverse speech therapist, about to start session work with his client. So here's the forwards.
We'll likely get reversals that are pretty clearly from your unconscious mind, like that.
Backwards, he says, soul serve you, make you feel love. I'm sure you can hear that one clearly enough. And reverse speech talks constantly about the soul and the state of the soul, whether it's damaged or healthy, happy, sad. And this one is a wonderful reversal. A therapist talking to his client. It's exactly what a therapist should say to his client. Soul serve you, make you feel love, you know. Now, some of the reversals aren't that nice. I played a couple of nice ones here, but they can get pretty nasty. You know, it's whatever is in the heart of man is what's appearing in reverse speech. And yeah. Look, so
for me, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. No. Look, I was just simply saying, look, I accidentally stumbled across this 40 years ago, and it was just so significant to me. I don't know how anyone could not devote their life to this. I mean, it's such an amazing technology to be able to tap into the voice of the heart, hear your inner self speaking, and I think it's been discovered at this time in history to help lead humanity back home and to see who we are inside, to see the metaphors and archetypes that run us and change them, get control over them. You know, we're slaves to our unconscious. We really are. You know, we're at its whim, like a ship without a rudder. But reverse speech gives us that rudder. It allows us to look inside and see who we are, see what metaphors and patterns we're running. Sorry, I'm raving on here.
No.
Keep going.
I was gonna jump in because I was just gonna give a couple of my examples that how to use the tool for me, because there's different apps. And I know you had an app at one time that I found a couple on there, but for example, this week I was trying to decide if I should go home or not. Like, I'm from Montana originally. I was trying to figure out to go home. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to play around with this. And I just recorded myself saying, okay, I can either go here and on this state and da la la, or I can go here, because I had a decision to make. When I played it backwards, it said, I am so homesick. I am so homesick. I am so homesick. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm going to go home. And that was an easy thing. Another thing, I had a song that I wrote, and when I played it backwards, it said, my daughter's name, my oldest daughter's Shane, and it said, Shaney, mommy misses you. And I didn't even realize that I had been sad all day, but I couldn't like pinpoint, like, what is this heaviness? And it gave me perspective that I was like, oh, I miss my kid. You know, it's like, that's what the heart is saying. But there's been, you know, my personal, it was when I came to you, is you were talking about the world meta walk and the meditation that you're doing. And I'll have you talk about that in a minute. But what occurred to me is, if we can implant something positive into the earth, which that's what you're doing with the world meta walk, I had the idea in my mind, like, well, what about people who think they believe something, or maybe something was implanted in them, or some sort of false memory or program or something like that? And I'm using myself as an example regarding Montauk. You know, I started having these memories and different things, and I'm like, okay, am I crazy? Did I make this up? Did someone like put this in my head? You know, and I asked you, can you find out if I'm crazy? Can you find out if I'm telling the truth, or if my memories are real? And then what happens if really these things in my head aren't real? Like, what do I do to fix that? And you told me, absolutely, you can find that out. You could tell if someone's lying. You could tell if someone's making it up. I'll let you explain that. But you said that you betted your 40-year career that Montauk happened for me, which was sort of a relief, but also super sad. And then and I had specifics in my session with you where you played back me giving information that I didn't even remember that actually happened. That was, again, a kind of double-edged sword, because it's like, shit, this happened, but also it's like, oh, I'm not crazy. And I even said in one of my backwards speech about talking about it to people, they won't believe me, is what I said in the backwards, is they don't believe me when I was talking about my husband and my family or whatever, which I love my husband so much, and his response when I was starting to get all this was like, well, I believe you that you believe this, but this is a lot, is what the way he said it. And it's a lot. And so, I feel like this can be used in a court of law. I mean, we had a situation with embezzlement, and you were able to deal with that. And
we pinpointed that one, didn't we?
wow. I mean, we had you said it, smoking gun. But talk a little bit about like, I think this should be like a lie detector. I mean, I don't know why people aren't using this in court as proof and evidence of someone telling the truth or whatever.
Yeah, I ask myself that question all the time. I lectured to the CIA on reverse speech back in 1991. You can actually, if you Google CIA reverse speech, just type in CIA reverse speech, you'll see the CIA page on reverse speech that they got on their website.
Wow. So they are aware of it, the authorities.
Sorry?
The authorities are aware of it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I worked for the FBI during the David Koresh siege. They wanted me to do a personality profile on Koresh using reverse speech. So they're very much aware of it. Oh, yeah, no doubt at all. Are they using it? I don't know. I haven't had any contact with them for 20, 30 years now. Maybe they are. I hear rumors that they are. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But
interesting.
Yeah. Well, now, what did you want me to explain, Sharnael?
Well, I guess the whole difference. How do you know the difference if someone's
right,
telling
okay,
the truth? Like what
lying or telling the truth? Right, okay.
Yeah, or if it's implanted versus real.
Right.
How can you tell the difference?
Very, very easily. If you're talking about an event, you say, they took me into the room and put me on a table. Okay, let's say that you said that forwards. If we had a reversal that said, yes, I was put on the table, then that's what we call a congruent reversal, and we can assume you're telling the truth. If you say, no, it never happened, then that's an incongruent reversal, and we know you're lying. If, however, it's an implant or a delusion, the reversals will come back in primarily metaphor, and they will communicate the patterns that you're running that create that delusion. So you can actually tell the difference between a lie, a truth, or a delusion, and it'll tell you both. It will also tell us whether you believe the delusion. How can I say this? Look, reverse speech will pinpoint it all, whether you're lying, telling the truth, or whether you're in delusion. In your case, you had a whole bunch of what I call first-level reversals, which are straightforward conscious information that gave us extra information about what was happening to you. That tells me, this event actually did happen. If you're in a delusion, I would get reversals that says, my goddess is upset, or my wolf is damaged, or Odin has a spear in his side. You'll get metaphors that show the unconscious dysfunction that you're running that creates that delusion. But I can tell the difference easy. Yeah, just give me. Oh, I'd like 30 minutes of tape. I'd like a good section. You need a little bit more than 5 minutes to really get a good read on someone. But yeah, reversals will tell the difference. Definitely.
Well, one of the things you had asked me when we were recording, and just an innocent question that I get a lot, is you said, "Well, where were your parents when all of this happened, and why didn't they step in or something?" And my reversal was, and when I said to you back was, they took me out of school. I was in this gifted program, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And the reversal that came back was, they took me to him, or so they can take me to him. They something along that line, which I'm like, I don't know who him is, but okay. And so again, there was like this relief. Okay, you're not crazy, you're not making it up, but also like, shoot, that's real. But speak a little bit about the world, the witch in the world.
Okay.
Talk about that and your solution to that.
Right. Okay. Well, look, the world is in a very bad state. I'm not telling anyone anything new. We all know that. Okay. Oh, gee, I got a whole bunch of theory to get you to this point of understanding. Okay, all right. Reverse speech talks about an energy force that surrounds the whole planet. It's called the whirlwind. It's an energy field that, Carl Jung talked about it. A few others talked about the whirlwind. And the whirlwind, according to reverse speech, is diseased and damaged. There is evil. Reverse speech describes it as a witch in the whirlwind. So you look at the world, you look at all the wars, you look at all the conflicts, you look at all the drugs and hunger and poverty. It's obvious to everyone that there's something wrong with the world. Reverse speech tells us that the planet itself has a universal mind, just as we have our own mind. The planet also has its own consciousness. I decided many years ago, or made a decision many years ago, that if I can work with people's unconscious and their metaphors in private session work, can I work with the metaphors of the planet itself? Is it possible to change the outcome or the history or the state of our planet? So I did a few tapes about it, and the reverse pitch came back and told me that the planet needs love. We need love inserted into the whirlwind or the conscious collective unconsciousness of the planet. So I devised a meta walk based on all my 40 years of work that would tap into the collective unconsciousness of the planet. And I inserted the metaphor of love into the collective unconscious. The way I did that was in my meta walks, I took people to heaven. I had them see God as a light on top of a mountain. They held out their hands. They caught a ball of light, which was love, in the palm of their hands. They then came back to Earth. They saw the whirlwind as a mighty vortex, walked into the whirlwind and released the ball of love up into the whirlwind, so it rises up in the air. I did that meta walk about 3 weeks ago. I want to do a whole lot more of them. I believe that we can, as people, change our destiny. We can change the outcome of the planet. I think that is what our evolutionary purpose is, to take conscious control over our own evolution. Currently, we do not have conscious control. Evil runs rampant. As reverse speech says, there's a witch in the whirlwind. So my attempt is to change the consciousness of the planet by removing the witch and replacing it with love. So, look, I've been dreaming about doing this meta walk for 20 years, and it finally all came together. And obviously, I want to do it more and more and more and more and more venues. The more we can do it, the more chance we have of changing the planet. But that's what I'm doing, putting the love of God into the whirlwind. And we'll see what that does to history.
I would love for us to have you on one of our members meeting and walk everybody through that. And
I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
I'd love to. I'd love to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe October we could look at that.
Yeah. So look, really, what I've been doing for the last 40 years, well, first off, it was categorizing the phenomena, proving it was real, understanding its many patterns. But really, what I've been doing the last 40 years basically is learning how human behavior and spirit works. Reverse speech is a commentary. I mean, it tells us step by step how spirit works, how God works, how human behavior works. It lays it all out. It's like the X-ray for the heart, if you like. And it's such an incredibly powerful, amazing technology. It just takes my breath away. And I get quite frustrated too, because I think that a lot more people should be using what they are. And I've had a lot of publicity. For those of you who were around in the 90s, you'll remember me. I lived in America for 10 years. I did all the talk shows and radio shows, and unfortunately, I discovered the truth to the wrong people and got myself into a lot of trouble, and was sued and chased out of the country. So I came back to Australia. I've been here for 20 years. Been home for 20 years now.
Well, you have also tested dogs, cats, children that aren't speaking yet, autistic people, different things, and you have found quite a lot there. And just thinking about if babies are saying backwards or forward, gaga, goo goo, whatever, and sounds weird, but then backwards they're really saying, hold me mommy, I want milk, I love you daddy, that kind of thing. That, when I heard that in one of your videos, if you guys go to his Facebook page, he has a pinned spirituality video there that is epic. Everyone should watch it, everyone, or hear it. But as soon as I listened to that, I was like, what if really we are supposed to be speaking backwards, and that is our first language, but then we were programmed into this forward English situation?
I agree with you. Yep.
Did you have any what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, what that we were programmed? So,
like, do you think that there could be that really are gibberish backwards when we were infants?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Could have been the real language, but then we.
Oh, absolutely. I firmly believe reverse speech is a real language. Yes, it's the voice of the soul. Yeah, let me play a wonderful reversal on a kid. This is my own daughter. She's in a bathtub trying to pick up a cup. She can't pick it up, so she reaches out to me for help. So here's the forwards. And backwards it says, David, which is my name. David, help me. You hear that? Isn't that amazing, hey? I'll do it again for those who missed it.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing, hey? So, yeah, so children are speaking in reverse before they do forwards. I believe that reverse is the real language. That is our soul speaking. That is the genuine I. The conscious mind is our own construct that we can, lie and deceive and tell and leave facts out of conversations, and reverse speech communicates all those facts. I believe language begins backwards before it does forwards. Children are speaking in reverse before they ever speak forwards, from as early as 4 months of age. The implications of using reverse speech in working with children is just staggering. We can get in contact with the young mind long before they can speak forwards. Implications of working with aged care, dementia patients. Wow, I've got dementia patients in reversals telling us they need pain medications and they need love, and they're communicating their desires in reverse. And why the psychiatric community isn't using this yet is absolutely beyond me. They certainly had plenty of notification about it, but this will revolutionize therapy, completely revolutionize it. Takes all the guesswork out. We know. I can tell you exactly what the person's problem is, exactly where it started, and exactly how to fix it. Reverse speech taps into that universal knowledge, the collective unconscious, the infinite wisdom. And look, it's almost too good to be true, but it's true. I'll tell you.
It reminds me of, like I say, hypnotherapy. I've looked into that a lot, and how they try and get you out of the conscious mind and into what they call the subconscious or the higher mind, whatever word you want to put on it. It sounds to me like it's exactly the same principle, like you're tapping into sort of technologically, in essence, but you don't need to be in a sort of trance-like state. It's just how we naturally function.
That's exactly right. Yep.
And I love how this idea that, like, we talk a lot about being authentic, and like truth has a frequency, and you can feel it when you're in tune with yourself, your own authenticity, and someone lies to you, you can physically feel it. And I think again, it's another way of bringing this kind of idea together, that we have a technology and an understanding here that the subconscious mind is communicating, and just this slight little alteration, and we can literally hear it in a way that we understand. And I'm blown away, if I'm honest.
Welcome to the world of reverse speech. It's a blow away material. and look, these reversals are so clear. I mean, I'm not stretching, sounds to say, oh gee, I think I can hear that. I mean, these phrases are as clear as day, clear as I'm talking to you now, and I don't know how anyone can hear this and still remain skeptical, quite frankly.
I mean, is there any software out there, like even apps
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can do it yourself or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, if you go to my website, reversespeech.com, we have software, or audio and video software that'll run videos and audios backwards. Yeah. Or videos backwards are amazing because the backward lips will mouth out the reversals, and you can see all these body language links. Arms going up at the same time the reversal happens, or
Right.
facial expression. Like someone might say, "My wolf snarls," backwards, and you'll see their nose go up in a little snarl fashion, and it's amazing body language. It brings body language together, and you can actually see the unconscious metaphors that are creating that body language signal. And that's a whole lot of research I haven't done yet, which I don't know whether I'll have time to do in my lifetime, but to connect body language and reverse speech, that would just be fascinating.
Yeah, Bob Stevens would be the guy for that. And we're working on doing just a conference, an online conference with you and Laurel Erica and Robert Stevens, and who knows.
Yeah, love to do that. Love
maybe.
to.
So yes. One thing too that came to mind is like prophetics or psychics. And it's like, it's made me wonder, are they, you sit down or you talk to someone, maybe they're actually giving you information because they're able to interpret backwards what you started out saying to like speak into that, instead of, maybe they're just really good interpreters of backwards speech, and that's where.
Well, I actually happen to believe that the genuine psychics, and I use the word genuine deliberately because there's some out there that are not genuine, but a genuine psychic, I believe, is tapping into this unconscious communication and relaying information back from what they're hearing on the unconscious level.
Or like dog whisperers or horse whisper, like maybe they're just able to detect the backwards of the neigh, or
I believe that.
or
I
the
believe that.
barking, or whatever.
I believe that.
Who in your 40 years that you, because I know you've done a lot of politicians, who would you say out of everyone is the most congruent, and who isn't the most congruent?
Oh, you're not going to like my answer on this one. Most congruent guy out there is Donald Trump. I hate to. I hate to say.
I love that answer.
Love it, brilliant.
Look, Trump is what you see is what you get. His backward speech and his forward speech are aligned. He's very congruent. The most incongruent person out there, Hillary Clinton by a long shot. Gee, her reversals is just shocking.
Does she ever say a word of truth? I mean,
No, not at all. No.
Do you have anything that you can play for us, just as an example, for either of those people?
Sure. Let me just pull them up real quick. Hillary. Let me pull up some Hillary. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Hillary. Okay, here's classic Hillary. Here we go.
And you know what? It also matters when he makes fun of people with disabilities. Calls women pigs.
Talking about Trump, and back she says, and I'll scam you.
And I'll scam you.
And I'll scam you. And I'll scam you.
Pretty clear, I'm sure you would agree. So, also incongruent, obviously. Here's Trump. Okay, then this is a congruent reversal. This is classic congruent reversal. Here's Trump talking false about Hillary Clinton's emails. We're going back 8 years now, okay? So here's the forwards.
When he gave up that email thing, he said, "Here, Hillary." And you know what? That was orchestrated by the Democratic Party.
Okay, so forwards he talks about Hillary and email, okay? And backwards he says, Hillary, let's see this email.
Hillary, let's see this email. Hillary, let's see this email.
You hear that? So congruent. Here's the forwards.
When he gave up that email thing, he said, "Here, Hillary." And you know what? That was orchestrated by the Democratic Party.
And Hillary, let's see this email.
Hillary, let's see this email. Hillary, let's see this email.
So that's congruent. He's saying the same thing backwards as he's saying forwards, okay? And Hillary was incongruent. I will scam you, okay? There you go.
Speaking of scams,
Yes.
you have done a lot of people in the disclosure community.
Yes, I have. Yes.
And
Yes, I have indeed.
Craig, you're gonna really enjoy some of you've done some people that have been on our show that we don't have on the show anymore for our own reasons, that we were kind of feeling out of congruent having them on the show, and just seeing some things and feeling some things that were just like no, and or have never had people on the show because of just the feeling, like Craig was talking about, was like something's off, or I felt off, or we didn't. Our fear would be like if we bring someone that we don't jive with necessarily is, and not that we don't like open conversations to talk about different perspectives. That's what we thrive on. But but if someone we know is actually scamming, or we feel there's a scam or a lie, I don't want to present them on my platform, because then our audiences may go to them for different hypnotherapies or whatever, and I just don't want to put my stamp of approval on, hey, go check out this person. But a lot of the people in question here, even recently in the disclosure movement, you have dissected their backward speech, and a lot of it comes back as I'm a fake, I'm a scan, I'm not like, talk about that.
A very large proportion. Yes, in the disclosure industry. Actually, I'm actually getting my book together now. I started to write the book on the disclosure industry right now. So well, that's my next project. Look, all I can tell you is that be very, very careful who you listen to and who you believe out there in the fringe alternate industry, UFO, whatever field you're in. I would say that of all the I can't remember how many people I've reversed, maybe 30 or 40. I've probably found a couple of genuine ones. Most of them are scams or delusions. There's a lot of delusion, a lot of sick people out there who've got a whole bunch of delusions running through their head. And I've done the reversals of the greats in the field. I'm about to publish them. We'll see if I'm still alive in a couple of years.
Well, I mean, like Travis Walton is someone that you said is actually congruent, and
Travis Walton telling the truth.
There are real live people who actually are saying the truth. And again, those of you who are watching, and I encourage you to go to David's channel. He has so many reversals you can actually just binge on. I mean, I think I've watched hours now, not just with disclosure. That's not really my field necessarily. But your background is from a Christian background, which Craig and I have that same background too. We don't really attend church anymore. But your book, this is the first book that I bought, is you doing reversals on different ministry people. That was a little bit shocking. Some of that.
Very shocking. Yeah. I'm a minister's son. I was raised in the church, and I was a youth pastor in my early 20s. So yes, I have a strong background, and my faith is still very strong. I believe God has called me to do this. This is why I'm here. Yes, I turned my sights to the church. Oh, how long ago did I do that? About 4 years ago, I think. I started looking at church leaders, and oh man, it'll make your throat. It's enough to make your toes curl. It's scary reversals. These are ministers who are saying, "I love Satan. I worship Satan." Just really nasty reversals, and the whole Christian church is in just such a bad way. I mean, my God. Here, let me see if I can pull some up real quick. I don't know which chapter I've got some of the good ones in. Where are we? Oh, wrong book. Sorry, wrong book. Right. Okay. All my books have the reversals on the website. So where are we? Let me find okay, look, okay, look, here's a classic one. This is oh no, I won't play that one. No. Oh, look, here's a minister giving a sermon. This is Brian Houston in Adelaide, in Sydney.
Well, up 3, you can raise your hand. And I'll say it one more time, you're not going to be the only person whose hand is raised. And then as a big church family, we're going to pray a prayer of salvation.
I live with the conning. Yeah, that's the. Let me find a better one. That's actually not as clear as I wanted it to be. Which chapter do I have it in? You know what? I I have got so many reversals on my computer, I lose track. I really do as to where they all are. Here we have the one I'm looking for is probably the next chapter. Let's have a look. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, here we have the guy who's head of the Church of Christ. Dorhow is his name.
See yourself.
Hang on, is that the one I want? This is the one I want. Okay, here we go.
See yourselves in this metaphor as the lion. If you are white, the predator. And become active agents of God's shalom in the dismantling of white power, white privilege, and white supremacy.
I am Satan.
It's the only pathway of justice.
Now here we go. I am Satan.
I am Satan.
Yeah, how's that? That's not a good one at all, is it? No.
Oh, no.
And I got oh gee whiz, if I could put my hands on the Pope real quick. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Look, we should do a whole show on it. I'll get them all ready in order, okay?
Yeah, next show we'll do that.
Okay.
Talk about Rosalind, because that came up when I was talking about a certain person in my life.
Rosalind, very nasty metaphor. It's probably the worst metaphor of all in reverse speech. It comes from the tales of Camelot, where Merlin the magician was imprisoned in a forest called Rosalind. And in the forest, a fairy from the underworld came and robbed him of his magic. So the Rosalind so that whole metaphoric scenario has become a metaphor in the unconscious. And Rosalind is a metaphor for energy draining, robbing of power, stealing. You think about people who you're in their presence and they're just so draining and pull you down. That's the Rosalind metaphor. It's a very nasty metaphor. That's a metaphor that's rampant in the collective unconscious of the planet. It also goes by the name witch, and I said there's a witch in the whirlwind of the planet. So, yet very nasty metaphor. I hate working with it. It's the worst metaphor of all to get rid of, because I've gotten rid of her and she's come back again, and she's like a cancer, keeps on re-emerging.
Well, what would you say is, when you're working with people one-on-one, what are the most extreme transformations that you've seen when people did the meta walk, and then like how did their life shift because of imaging this new path and the subconscious taking on these new forwards instead of backwards? Like what kind of stories do you have with that?
Oh, you know what? Whenever I'm asked that, I actually get a mental blank on case studies because basically when I work with my client, I'm there 100%, but as soon as I've finished, I'm gone. I'm not connected, and I don't remember them until I get out their file again. So let me pull out a file, and then I might remember what's going on. Okay, here's a young man, great young man I'm doing session work with. He's autistic, okay, and so we're working with his autism, and we're getting some great success. He's shifting in leaps and bounds. He's happy. He's productive. He's out socializing, and that's a case study in and of itself. Oh, now another close file. This is a man who was constantly molested by his brother growing up. It created all sorts of horrible sexual issues with this guy. He's turned gay. We're working with him I don't know how comfortable I feel about this. He doesn't want to be gay. He wants to be straight. And so I've been working with him on that. I'm not a great fan on conversion therapy, but he's starting to get some heterosexual urges again. So I don't know. So, that's maybe a bad case study to pull up. That's what I happened to pull up at the top of my head. Here's a great one. This is a young man who came to me about 4 weeks ago. No, about 6 weeks ago. Anger. This guy was so angry. I mean, in his first session, he was abusing and swearing, and they've done this and they've done that to me. Put him through 2 mad to walks. He's a changed man. Last time I spoke to him this week, he was calm. He was at peace. The anger had gone. Wonderful success. So look, I get so many successes with reverse speech. I really do. It's and I don't get testimonies. I hate asking clients for testimonies. I feel like I'm using them, so I don't. But people keep on telling me, you got to get testimonies. And I think, oh no, I don't want to ask for it. I don't know. I'm funny that way. So, but I have whole lives changed around. I have people come to me, they've been to every therapy under the sun, and they come to reverse speech, and bang, I've got them just like that. Because look, it takes the guesswork out. It's like you go to a therapist, they say, oh, gee, well, were you, they might think, well, you're abused, would this happen to you? And you can spend months in therapy just getting to the bottom root cause of the problem. Reverse speech will get to it in one recording. I mean, one recording, I can tell you exactly what the problem is and generally how to fix it. And it's liberating. It really is. And look, my work's got to get out there more. Like I said, I don't advertise. I don't promote. I haven't done. I haven't done any promotion since I've been back in Australia for 20 years. So work solely through word of mouth. But look, the time is here. Our planet needs this so badly. We're at a real turning point of history right now. We really are, and we need to make the right decisions, or we're in real trouble. And I think reverse speech is here at this point in history to let us see into our own heart, to see who we really are, and with that knowledge, become free of the chains that bind us. Look, I believe the whole destiny of the human race is to manifest the divine on earth. And I think the divine lives inside of us. And if we can find that divine in us, then we can manifest it on earth. And that's what I see as my mission with reverse speech, is to find that divine spark and bring it out so we can be the best that we can be. And, I have a real passion about this. Excuse me.
Well, speaking of passion and speaking of the cat that wanted to make its debut, what was surprising to me is when I had one of my sessions with you, I don't even know if I was talking about animals, but my reverse speech said a couple times that animals, this is your life force. That this, I don't know if I said this is her life force or this is your life force or this is my life force. I choose to remember, but it was every time I would talk about animals, and it just, to me, that was revealing to me again that pay attention to the things that light me up and go that route. Like if there was I was in a situation, I'm a naturopath and I work with people, but I always wanted to be a vet and I just couldn't because of the trauma of, animals getting hit by cars and different things like that. But now I'm working at the shelter and I was looking into going to an integrative holistic animal conference that I wanted to do for like 10 years. But when I had your thing and it kept saying, this is your life force, this is your life force, I was like, you know what? I'm going to that thing. I'm going to do it, But at the same time, let's be real. You've also had some really strong reactions. And I think you termed it something. I choose to remember how.
Reversing reaction is the word I use. Reversal reaction.
So explain that a little bit, because you've had some recently of someone that Craig and I have had some problems with recently, and my husband actually got some messages from this guy, and
who was it?
Should we say his name? It rhymes with heckler.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh,
Um,
he's a character.
you've had some pretty strong,
Yeah.
you know,
People react very negatively against reverse speech. If you're incongruent or have negative issues down in the unconscious, it's going to trigger you like you've no idea. I've had people, look, I've had death threats. I've had lynch mobs outside. My house has been burnt down. Look, oh gee, won't even go into my son. That's a whole other story in and of itself. Uh, People react very, very negative to reverse speech if the reversals are not nice. It seems to trigger you. Um, I've had death threats. My house has been burnt down. I've had clients scream out of session work in anger. Some people see the reversal and they'll just freak out. It's I liken to the book of Revelations where they said in the last days they'll cry to the mountains themselves to hide them from the face of God. And reverse speech really is the voice of God speaking. And it can come down at such a deep level, people react very negatively to it if they've got things they don't want to see. Yeah.
It's like the ultimate triggering, isn't it? You know, like when something happens or someone says something and you get triggered and like, why is this triggering me so much? Because it's like there's something in you that's a wound or something that's getting prodded. And
That's
I guess
right.
if you are like, you know, if something is exposed and it can cause a massive reaction, you know, it's like a huge
Yep.
but you can look at it both ways, that something's actually being exposed that needs healing and you need help in that area, you know. And I guess it's down to the individual how they, you know, move forward with that.
Yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I was chased out of America by someone in reaction. I found some reversals on a talk show host. We won't mention names or what I found, but it was very nasty information. And this guy just went absolutely freaked out. He sued me, and it was a nasty, very nasty year. And I was chased out of America by someone in reverse reaction. That's why I went home.
Oh.
Yeah.
well, I am forever in gratitude for your work, and I know that you offer mentoring as well, which I wish I could do that. But you also do, you know, personal
Yep.
work, whether it's health issues or depression or job related, but you also have been hired, and I mean, I just figured this out. I just asked. I didn't know you've been doing this. Where I could give you like 10-15 minutes of a person, and then you can tell me like what the intentions are, and like maybe I shouldn't hire this person, or maybe I should hire this person, or working with people and things like that. So I've hired you to help me with a few people, and so just as people are watching, you know, there's so much that David can do to help you. And I just really, really encourage you guys to, you know, get his 18 books. Every one of them. I will have links here at the bottom. At the minimum, go to his website and see the software and all the reversals and his, 40 years of work. And then maybe you do want to jump on board with the workshop that we're going to do, that I was discussing earlier, or the member thing that we're going to do with the meta walk, and we'll get some dates so you guys know what's going on and what have you. But yeah, any final words, either of you guys, before we stop for the day?
Oh, well, just look, thank you very much for having me on. That's really, the only thing I can say is reverse speech is so important. It's come at this point in history to allow us to see inside and see the state of our heart. And if you want to know where your heart is at and what your relationship with God is, reverse speech will tell you. And I don't know whether there's anything more important than that, personally. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, well, like I say, I came into this as a noob and absolutely curious. So you've certainly given me a lot to work with. Now I'm going to go away. I'm going to check out your YouTube and your website and really delve into this. It's a very, very fascinating study for sure. So thank you very much for joining us. I've really enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
Yes. So where can we find you, David? Just one more time. I'm going to have all the links and everything.
Yeah.
But
Reverse speech. My website is reversespeech.com, all in one word. I'm very active on my Facebook page. If you want to interact with me, Facebook, just search for David Oates on Facebook, and I'm there all the time. So yeah, come and say hi and learn more about what I do. Okay.
I followed you today. I found you and followed you. So I'm on
Good
there.
on you, mate. Okay.
awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Craig, where can we find you before we go here today?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Craig Martin Walker. I've got my meditation music channel, Craig W Ascension Meditation. If that's your thing, sort of big ethereal soundscapes that I like to do. I'm in a band, Nth Ascension, nthascension.com. Check us out there. Facebook page, Nth Ascension Music. So yeah, just I like to connect with people, and feel free to find me there.
Awesome. And you guys can find me at swiftfire.org. You can find me at drsharnael.com. Definitely on all those Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. Biofeedback, session work, books, resources, classes, all the things are on the website. Of course, we have our podcast here every Thursday at noon Central. We are going to have him back once a month for a little while. We discussed, just because we're going to play some reversals and really dive into this a little bit more, and also a workshop. So I hope you guys will really test this out, because I think you're going to be really surprised and really excited. This has given me such a spark. I think that this is part of my tools that I need. And I've actually talked to my parents about it. My dad was so excited, and he doesn't get too excited about anything or any of my people that I've had on the show, but he instantly put a couple apps on his iPad, and he's been playing around with it. I've been playing around with it, just to see him have fun, trying to dissect his own language and see what his heart is saying. And so I suggest you guys to play around it. If you go to the App Store, there's several free apps.
There's lots of apps out there that run.
You can play around, you can save it, and keep a library of different ones that you found, or secretly record your baby or your dog, or maybe your teenager. I don't know.
Your spouse.
Your spouse. I don't know. That might be crossing
red herring. Herring.
Without permission. I don't know about doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, you guys follow his work, and I will be talking. I have talked about this in the last 5 episodes, because this is something that I think is part of my life force, is this topic. And just language in general. I've always been so I just love words, and I love language, and I've studied, body language, conscious language. I've had lots of different people on that topic with that show. So it must be something in my DNA or my purpose as well. And I'm just forever, again, even if I never talk to you again, which I hope that doesn't happen, but you have already given me such a gift. And again, this is my birthday. And thank you for being on the show for my birthday. And
happy birthday.
You guys are awesome. I will be in touch soon. And thank you again for all y'all being here. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.